Staring down a 200-mile journey by foot, Paul Veneto sets out from Boston with only one thing on his mind: his former co-workers.
I get emotional. That's the only reason I do it.
The retired flight attendant pushes a beverage cart in tribute to the airline crews who lost their lives on September 11th. Veneto was working on United Flight 175 on the night of September 10th, 2001, just hours before it was hijacked and flown into the second tower.
I get off the plane the night before at 8 o'clock, and then this crew that I knew on 175 got on it the next morning to do the trip that I just finished.
Now in its fourth and final year, Paulie's push is a mission to walk the path of each of the 4 flights that were hijacked in honor of the colleagues and friends he calls the first responders.
Police, fire, strangers, janitors, everybody helped out on that day and afterwards. But I would never hear anything about the heroics of these crew members, and I couldn't understand why.
This year, the path is that of American Airlines Flight 11. Paulie's push started at the Boston Public Gardens 9/11 Memorial on August 18th and will end at Ground Zero in New York City on September 11th. His journey, at times, taking him into the woods of Massachusetts, across a multi-lane highway in Connecticut, and through small towns in New York. Sometimes stopping for a quick pep rally. Or an impromptu roadside concert. Neighbors, school kids, police officers, and firefighters cheering him on, and at times walking that path with him.
I heard Paulie was coming back through town. I just knew I wanted to join him, give him someone to walk with.
As he takes this journey one step at a time, never forgetting the people he pushes for.
You know, I always say it, I'm just the guy who pushed the cart.
And Paul Veneto has made his way to New York City finally. He's on the home stretch of his journey, and earlier tonight, he joined me from the 9/11 Memorial. Paul, first off, thanks so much for joining Top Story tonight. After weeks of walking, talk to us about how you're feeling tonight.
I feel pretty good, to be honest with you. I'm surprised how good I feel. I could probably push that beverage cart back to Boston if I had to. So, yeah, I'm pretty pumped up.
You're a strong guy. As we mentioned before, you started this nonprofit to honor your coworkers and friends. Why is it so important that you do this for each flight path of 9/11?
Well, I knew when the buildings came down that day that I would need to do something. I had a burning feeling inside me that told me that these guys weren't going to get the recognition of what they were able to accomplish on those airplanes. You know, they were going hand-to-hand combat up there with the cabins sprayed with mace. I knew that families needed to be comforted and know that these guys were really American heroes. They weren't trained to go into combat, but we know that from the phone calls that were made off those planes that that's exactly what they were doing. So I needed to draw enough attention that would get national news because their families lived all over the country. And if I rode a bike or ran a marathon locally in Boston, it wouldn't reach these family members of these crews. So I thought of this idea a year after 9/11, pushing the beverage cart, and I'm so grateful I was able to do it on the 20th anniversary, and now here I am continuing to complete all 4 airplanes with the first one that day, which they were the first responders of 9/11, American 11. So it's pretty cool to be back here now. I never planned it to happen this way, but you know, I'm just so grateful I'm able to do it. I got a team of people behind me that support me, and the public that's been, you know, fabulous along the streets. I'm so grateful for them coming out with their kids and having them make signs and root me on.
Yeah,
and,
Paulie, that's
exactly
actually
what happened after 9/11.
Yeah, that's actually how I heard about the story. Somebody saw you on the street and sent your information over to me. When you look over behind you at that massive gaping spot where the Twin Towers once stood, you have your cart there. You know your loved ones, your colleagues also died there. What is that feeling like tonight?
Well, I try really not to think about it, to be honest with you. I know that this is a sacred place. You know, I just try to stay focused on comfort and their families that were left behind. There was so much pain for all of us that day. I'm just the guy pushing the cart, hopefully to bring recognition of these heroes, and so that their family members realize that their loved ones were up there, not just killed by terrorists, but fighting to protect the people on the plane and us on the ground, really. So, to be standing here with knowing that those buildings were right behind me is, it's even hard when you said that. I wanted to turn around and look, but I didn't do it because I know it would make me emotional. Now that I've made it 220 miles, it really still hasn't hit me. I know that September 11th is until Wednesday, but when I get here is when I'm supposed to get here, and that's September 11th. So I'm just grateful that I can have the opportunity to talk about these guys and really what they were able to accomplish.
What do you, when you push that cart for all those miles, and it is truly incredible, what is going through your mind? Are you thinking about them? Are you thinking about other things?
Well, I have their pictures on top of the cart, the crew members that I knew from Flight 175. A lot of things go through my mind, but I can tell you every step that I take while I'm pushing this thing, I realize I have every option in the world to make it here. I have police escort me, fire escort me, people motivate me on the street. I think about those guys on that airplane that morning. Every step I take, I think of them because they didn't have the options that I have. So nothing will stop me from getting here because I have all these options. They didn't have options that morning, but we know what they were able to accomplish is just mind-boggling to me. It really is. They needed to be recognized by the whole world for what they were able to accomplish. I don't know how they did it. To this day, I still don't know how they were able to, running through those cabins sprayed with mace and relaying messages to each other. So one of the flight attendants could call the ground and give us the information that was going on up there. So, yeah, it's not a big deal. I'm just a guy pushing the cart. I'll tell you right now, it's a mental thing for me. It's not a physical thing.
I hear you. And it's good you're doing this so we never forget what happened on 9/11. We never forget, like you said, all those brave airline workers that were there that day as well. I do want to ask you, this is the final journey. So what is next for Paulie's push?
I don't know. I try not to think of the future. I never thought about being here again. I accomplished what I set out to do the first time I did it. I needed national attention, like I said. But I knew that something would click if it was what it was. And I have an idea what might happen on the 25th anniversary, which I'd like to do, is have all the communities from Boston all the way to Ground Zero in New York take part in pushing it. The schools, the police, the fire. And I'd give the beverage card to each town along the way for as many days as they need to. And we could all take part in it and be like we all did after 9/11, come together. Because that's the emotional part of when I'm doing this, is seeing neighbors talking to each other, So hopefully that would, all the fire and police along the way this time have said that absolutely take part in it. So hopefully that'll be something that we can all do on the 25th anniversary.
Paulie Veneto, you do a lot of good work. We appreciate what you do, and we thank you for taking the time to talk to us on Top Story. We'll be thinking about you and all your colleagues and all those who died on 9/11.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.